Hi everybody, I am Adrian Furtuna. We will be doing some cooperative exercise today. And yeah, if you, I appreciate the people doing pentesting. They will be the first ones helping me out today. But all others are welcome to participate, and let's have a brainstorming of ideas. So why this talk? So during this 30 minutes, you will have an overview of a typical pen testing engagement, and we will talk about more about the process itself, and we will see how this can be improved in terms of efficiency and quality of results. A few words about myself. I'm an ex-full-time pen tester. I've been doing this for more than 10 years. I have founded pentesttools.com. I did also some speaking at some conferences, and you can also find me at the Politehnica University of Bucharest. I do some teaching there. 2 words about Pentest Tools. We are a Romanian security company. And we like to say that we help companies become resilient or more protected against cyber attacks. Basically, we are a cloud-based solution, and we have in cloud a set of tools that can be used to discover vulnerabilities in websites and network infrastructures. Okay, let's start to dig in. What are the typical phases of a pen test engagement? So first of all, we need to sign the deal. So we need to have a contract between the pen tester and the company, agreeing upon the scope and all others. After that, we need to take off our business suit and take on our hacker suit and start hacking, finding vulnerabilities and interesting stuff. After that, we need to put on our copywriter suit and start writing the report. And after that, we need to deliver the report and maybe do a presentation. And after that, we also will get paid for that. But in order to get paid, we need to pass through all these phases. And as a pen tester, I can tell you that some of these phases are more pleasant, and the others are less pleasant. But it depends on everyone. So I have a challenge for us today. We would like to perform a decent web application penetration test within less than 1 hour. I initially wanted to say in 30 minutes, but I don't think it will be that feasible. But let's give it less than 1 hour. And the target will be a web application. This is something new that we have written. Of course, it has some vulnerabilities, and I know them in advance. But I would like to have a brainstorming and to see how the process would go. And another challenge would be only using the web browser, so no Kali, no Linux, and no other tools. And we also need at the end to produce the report. We will do it together. So it will be a crowdsourcing, and I expect ideas from you guys. Before we begin, let's define decent. So an engagement that a client would accept. So a decent pen test should cover as much as possible of the attack surface of the target application. And it needs to discover at least all the low-hanging fruits and also dig more advanced where possible. And it also needs to demonstrate the risk of the vulnerabilities and present them in a report. We will try to do this today. And in order to structure our work, we will use this concept called attack trees. For whom of you are not familiar with this is a concept introduced by Bruce Schneier a few years ago, which is meant to model an attack. So this is the main scope, the main purpose, and in order to achieve the main purpose, we could do this or this or this. In order to do this, we need to have this and this. So we will do such an attack tree together today. So let's do the hacking. Okay, meet the target web application. It can be found at this URL. And let's start collaborating. This is a tool for creating mind maps, and it can easily model an attack tree. Okay, so you have this target URL. What would you do? Okay, so yeah, just a minute. Wow, what a nice time to lock your browser. Okay. That's good. Okay, so let's assume it is working. Okay, so somebody from there said scan. Oh, come on. The risk of live demos. Sorry? Yeah, you're right. So scan for open ports. Okay, what else? DNS records and whois. We already know the target application. It doesn't quite make sense. It can be done, but let's keep it closer. URL enumeration, okay? What does that mean? Okay, okay, that's good. What else? Header inspection. What's the purpose of this? Okay, so this is the actual task that we're trying to do. Discover technologies, okay? What else? OS fingerprinting, yeah, this will come out from the open port scan. Crawling, spidering, and this basically goes to web application testing using a web scanner to do that, right? Okay. Just a minute. Okay, we will do that. And I would also add manual inspection of web application, and this meaning that we will need to familiarize with the application to see what functionalities it has and so on. Let's start covering these, and we'll see how it goes, okay? This one will be done automatically. Scan for open ports. Discover technologies also discover technologies manually and automatically. URL enumeration also automatically. And manual inspection manually, of course. So let's start the scanners first. Let them do their job, And in parallel, while they scan, we will browse the application and see what we find. Okay? We will use pentest tools for that. Remember that we only need a browser. So this is, I will delete the target that I have previously created. So I have a workspace where we can create targets, right? So we take the target from here, add it. Okay, so first of all, we said we want to do port scanning. Let's try the TCP port scanner. Let's do 1000 ports and also detect operating system. Okay, that one started, let it run. Other things. Scan with automated scanner. We also take that. We will choose the web scanner from here. We will do a full scan, see what it finds, and let it scan. We will color with green these ones that we have, that we did. Okay, URL enumeration. We can also do that. How would you do that with the URL enumeration? You said it. Okay, so with a tool such as Deerbuster, which is well known for that, which tries various URLs to see if they are there or not. We also have something similar here. It's called URL fuzzer. And it can discover directories, common configuration files, source code files, and so on. It's a little bit more complex than Deerbuster. And another interesting thing here, it has a mutation feature, meaning that when it finds a folder or a directory, it will also search for mutated or derivated numbers, derivated names, such as if we find backups, it will search also for backups 1, backups 2, backups 3, backups dev, backups prod, backups, and so on. So a lot of combinations. Okay, we also started this one. Discover technologies. We also have a tool for that, but we also will do it manually. We have this website recon tool. We will start it at see what it gets. And yeah, let's start looking manually. So we have this web application. How would you start? What would you do? Okay. This one? Okay, nothing there. Yeah, of course. This is good. This is a good piece of information that it has this information here, right? Okay, let's note some of the things that we find. Okay, let's go back. Let's preview some source. I don't think you can see too much. It looks like a regular HTML, just from inspection. Let's see if it has any dynamic functionalities. Where could we look? Okay, we have a login screen here. Yeah, this is my own email address, auto-completed. incorrect username and password. Yeah, we could try this, some, I don't know, SQL injection or something. So yeah, I know this is a JavaScript defense, but I would not insist on this. Let's see on the search part. We see that the application returns with could not find something. If we do a piece of script, okay, we have a simple cross-site scripting. How big is the risk of this, of a cross-site scripting? Any other opinions? My opinion is that the risk depends. It depends on the. It depends mainly on the business functionality of the application. So if it's just a presentation site, maybe it's a lower risk. If it's a more powerful site with some complex functionality, it could be higher. Okay, besides this, any other ideas for manually attacking this application? Let's see what the scanners have found. So the TCP port scan has found the Apache server, the version, and an SSH server. Also, we have the operating system, as we said. Here, maybe we could do a brute force on the SSH, maybe, with probably lower chances. Let's see other tools. The website recon. It has also identified Debian and Apache version and some client-side libraries used. Okay, let's see the website scanner. It says that the Apache version has multiple vulnerabilities. It has observed that we are running over HTTP, sending clear text passwords, some bootstrap vulnerabilities. Oh yeah, okay, it has identified cross-site scripting. This is available in multiple pages. And in order to test that, we have this attack vector. And when you click this, it automatically sends the post request to the payload. And we can check if the vulnerability is valid or not. Okay, sir, zoom, okay. jQuery, some interesting files found. We have this /private. Okay, this might lead us to somewhere. And some other low-risk findings. You can see the crawler has inspected some of the application. Okay, let's go to the other scanner, the URL enumeration suggested by our colleague. Let's see what we have here. So we have this /private directory identified here, but we also have this private -dev. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, it looks like a special module of the application. The dev word could mean that it is in development mode, and for some reason it's also available from this main website, which should not be. Okay, so right now we have a new target for our test. Let's see what this application has. Okay, so just for the beginning, we will do a full scan. Okay, and now let's say that we did this. And now we are starting a new attack vector. We're testing this one. Okay, and here, basically we should start again all of these, right? With again enumeration and so on. But besides this type of attacks, what else could we try here? Let's manually inspect. And we also have a login page. Okay, we could try a brute force. With which tools or what? Hydra. Okay. Hydra, Medusa, there are some tools in Kali. I don't know if you have used them before, but for these tools you need to give them the proper names of the variables, username, how it's called the password, what is the string, how it can identify if the login was successful or not. We have an alternative for this. It's called password auditor. And what it does, let me configure it. What it does, we give him a host name. And it actually tries to find all the services from that host name that require authentication and do brute force on all of them at once. And also it has a smart HTTP module which automatically detects input fields and tries to figure out if the login was successful or not. And for this one, we need to give him the full URL for login. Okay, I deactivated all the other services because it would take too long. And we have a default set of credentials, but you can also set your own credentials if you want to try that. Let's see this one because it will not take too long. It's still scanning. On the other part, let's see the other one for private dev. We have the same vulnerabilities for the same web server. We have new cross-site scripting on this one. And we have something interesting. We have a file inclusion vulnerability. This type of vulnerability allows you to, as you probably know, to read files from the disk. Okay, so in Linux, password hashes are stored in shadow. And, oh, permission denied. So we don't have access to the shadow. But as we know, file inclusion vulnerabilities could be escalated to remote code execution. Do you know how? Sorry? Try web shell? How exactly? Sorry? Apache log files. Okay, so the typical exploitation of local file inclusion is to include a file from the disk which may contain executable code, Apache PHP code. Okay, and we could try to read the file var log apache 2 access.log, right? Okay, still permission denied. We tried. But this is a valid vulnerability. Okay, let's dig in. We have some more. We have some the PHP info. This gives us some information. Let's see what the brute force has found. Okay, it looks like it has found some weak credentials, meaning that it's a test system, it's a development system, it's probable to have weak credentials. Okay, and let's go more in depth to see what is there. So there was test and ABC 1, 2, 3. Okay. Maybe a person who does QA has this account. And now we see that we have access to more functionality of the application, right? And now we need to dig more into it. And of course, you can do it also manually and also automatically. Since we don't have too much time left, so I did well that I did not let 30 minutes, but 1 hour. 1 hour it would have been enough. I also want to show you how a web scan. So now we also need to do a web scan, but here we need to do it authenticated, right? We need to go deeper into the application. So what I would do, so we need to scan this one, private dev. Let's do it from here. Private dev, and we need to enable authentication. And for this, we need the login URL and the username and password discovered by the previous tool. Test and ABC 1, 2, 3. Let's see if the authentication works. Okay, what it does, it tries to authenticate with the username and password and takes a screenshot of the application to see if it's correct or not. Okay, and we will start scanning. Fast forward, the scan will find some SQL injection that will allow us to see some accounts. And from that account, we will exploit a functionality that allows us to write some files on the disk, a report on the disk. And we will be able to put some PHP code in that report on the disk. And then we will use the file inclusion vulnerability discovered earlier to include that code and gain remote code execution. But it looks like my plan was too long for this time interval. One last thing that I want to show you is, okay, we found some vulnerabilities, and now let's produce a report. Right, so we need to declare an engagement. This is the engagement web application penetration test. New bank is the name of the bank. This is a contract number. Let's say we signed the contract last Friday, and today was were the dates for the engagement. So the engagement got here, and we select the vulnerabilities. Here we have the option to validate them, to mark as verified or not. For instance, the cross-site scripting, we can easily put it as verified. And it also will appear the same in the report. And yeah, we can do generate report. We can choose a template, the engagement that we have previously created, and let's see how it looks like. Okay, so we have a Word report. Those of you who probably who did the pen testing probably have worked at this type of report a lot. Update field, update entire table. You can see that the identified vulnerabilities are updated here. Let's pass a little bit through it and we can finish. So we have a structure of a pen test report. Observe here that the template helps us very much because we don't have to write all this text all over and all over again. Scope, approach, methodology, disclaimer, executive summary, automatically filled. Also with this graph with the summary of the vulnerabilities. This is the summary of the vulnerabilities, which ones have been found with and the risk. And from here, it follows all the vulnerabilities with the evidence and the description and recommendations and so on. You also have the possibility to add manual findings. For instance, you did more manual tests, and you can insert them here. You can also insert screenshots and other evidence that will automatically put in the report. And yeah, so you have this report. You stay a little bit, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes and clean it up, and you can translate it into PDF and deliver it to the customer. So yeah, if you want to try our platform, we have 1 month free of the Pro Advanced package. This is equivalent of 130 euros something. You can put the discount code there. You can also find this at our stand in the other room. And guys, here is the entire Pentest Tools team. I thank them because they made all this possible. And thank you very much.
All right, time for questions. Are there any questions?
I know you're hungry, but yeah, I can stay.
The reason that I mentioned about DNS records, it's the fact that you don't know, maybe clients don't know that his site is on the shared hosting or something like this, and this will break the contract with it.
Yeah,
it's not something you should take account.
Yeah, you were right with DNS and finding subdomains, for instance, that would point to the same server.
Yeah.
That would have been a valid attack path, but given the fact that we had limited amount of time and this test was more focused on the web app, that's why I chose not to do that.
Okay.
But it's valid. Yeah, okay. What you said.
All right, let's take one from down here. Please keep your hand up so that you can get the mic.
I've used your software before.
Okay.
And very good software. I didn't know about the reporting functionality. However, one of the things, we're using another alternative software now.
Okay.
One of the things it does is it actually generates a report which is built for technical, which we get, and one for the end user with our logo, with everything built in.
Okay.
It does a network and, what do you call it, software testing. Is that something Pentest Tools can do for us as well?
Of course. Yeah, we have a possibility to white label the reports, so you can customize them with your logos and so on. And yeah, you can, as you said, as you have seen, you can select which findings you want to report and generate a branded report with that. Yeah.
Any more questions? Let's take from that side as well some questions.
The mic, okay. We need the mic. Just shout, I can hear you.
Yeah, but the stream can't.
Congratulations for the tool. Are you planning to make an on-premise app? Because some customers are very paranoid when it comes to scanning from the cloud.
Yeah, I know this paranoia. They may be right in some aspects. What we can do, and we have recently added the capability to enter the entire network through VPN. So if the customer opens a VPN gateway, we can scan through the VPN and gain and scan the internal networks. But yeah, that should be done in the mid-future, let's say, because it's kind of a different project. Thank you.
I think we have time for one more question, if you have it.
Hi. Well, I have a question. Basically, what kind of data does Pentest tools stores, since it's a cloud-based solution? I imagine that you do some research on what types of websites people are scanning and so on.
So our policy is that the client is the owner of the data, so we do not do anything with it, share it to other parties or not. And yeah, we store the results of the scans as long as the customer wants to. So you have the option to delete the results from our platform whenever you want.
All right, thank you very much, Adrian.
Okay, thank you.